So what's up, guys? Today I'm going into the 4th week of fasting. So if you notice, my energy's been a little bit different, a little low, just different all around for the past couple of weeks while I've been making videos. Well, you should know that I've been fasting. That means no water, sun up to sundown for the past 30 days. Some of you guys know it, but if you weren't familiar with why my energy is different, that's why. The other thing is that I'm going into my 4th week post-surgery of hernia surgery. Many of you have been asking, why is Elliott having hernia surgery? If you haven't seen the video, I was born with a hernia. I was born with a hernia. So as I've been progressing in my training, I figured that it might be well worth the time and energy to patch it up so that I can continue growing stronger without the hindrance of a potential injury with the hernia. So that being said, my training has been real different the past couple weeks. This week is going to be similar to the past few weeks, where I'm going high volume, short rest intervals, circuit type training with very low weights. In fact, I've really been enjoying this phase of training, and when I finish fasting next week and I'm cleared to start lifting heavy again, I'm not sure I'm going to go back right away. So it'll be interesting to see how it all evolves. Today's workout is going to be chest, quads, and abs circuit. First circuit's incline dumbbell presses with 8s, speed bodyweight speed squats, 25. Sit-ups on the Swiss ball so you get a full range of motion, working the rectus abdominis, but really the whole flexor chain, including the neck and the hips. And that's why we do it on the Swiss ball, times 15, 5 rounds. Dumbbell flies, multi-directional lunges, which happen to be one of the best functional exercises for building mobility in the hips and the legs. I think all athletes should do it. I'll do a variation where there are 3 each side, followed by V-ups for the abs. Reps and sets. So I've got a set of blast straps. We're going to use those for push-ups times 10. Crossover step-ups is another great exercise for opening up the flexibility, mobility in your hips. Training legs doesn't always mean you have to do heavy squats in that same pattern over and over again, which is all sagittal, just going up and down. What you're gonna see during this exercise are multiple ranges of motions, and with this crossover step-up, you'll see how I get to work the hips in multiple ranges. Windshield wipers, this is another ab exercise. Finally, the last circuit is going to be dumbbell flat bench presses. Single leg squats, there are several variations of it depending on how I'm feeling today. It could be either a single leg toe touch, or it could be a Bulgarian squat or pistol, followed by toes to bar times 8. So that's it. Enjoy this workout, try it out. See you on the outside. Because I'm going pretty light in most of these exercises, I try to focus on the full range of motion. Normally the type of training I do just requires power. You pick something heavy up and move it however you need to. Now that the weights are a bit lighter, I can actually feel the entire range of motion, not just at the bottom, at the top, but also throughout the entire movement. So that's just an interesting new discovery while training with lighter weights. Great thing about this exercise, like I said in the beginning, is that it works the full range of motion, causing you not to shorten especially your upper abdominal muscles. They tend to get short by doing a lot of crunches because they screw up your posture. So you end up looking like you're crunched. Here, working the full range of motion gets a good stretch, also activates more muscular fibers by doing it this way. Another key point is, when I'm doing this exercise, I got my tongue on the roof of my mouth in order to engage the deep cervical flexors. These are muscles that often grow weak, especially in comparison to the muscles back here and over here, causing a lot of people to have forward head posture. By keeping the tongue on the roof of your mouth, you activate the infra-and these muscles deep in here. They call them strap muscles that keep your neck in its anatomical position by strengthening those muscles and keeping balance between the front and the back of your neck. I love training for the sake of training. I think that's confusing to a lot of you guys. You love training because of the result it gives you externally. Man, I love training because of the internal feeling I get from challenging myself physically. I just love this stuff, man. I'm addicted to it. And I think the charge that I get from training different ways all the time, keeping my mind and nervous system fresh and off balance, also keeps me wanting to train my entire life. That's why you guys might see me doing all types of things I can achieve in strongman. I pulled 700 in a deadlift. I'll do CrossFit workouts. I like gymnastics. I just did a parkour workout. I just do all these things that force me to get a charge in my body. If I start moving too far in one direction, I want the friction of challenge and try something completely brand new. That's what I love about training, man. Keeps you agile in your mind also. If you find yourself stuck with a bodybuilding routine or powerlifting routine that doesn't stimulate your salivary glands anymore, you don't just want to get into the gym and train anymore, then you know what? Change your routine, but never stop training. Training is life. Movement is life. We don't do it because we have an obligation to do it. We do it because the pleasure of life is found in training. This full range of motion, I feel upper and lower abs here. Hip extension causing lower abs, thoracic extension causing upper abs. I better shut my mouth and put the tongue in the roof of my mouth, right? I don't know, maybe it's just me, maybe I'm just a masochist. But I love feeling like I'm on the verge of passing out. I love feeling like I can't do something, but I do it again. I tell you, I'm hurting right now, man. It's hot and I'm dehydrated. I like this feeling. I'm a little dizzy, I'm a little stupid, but I just want to go deeper into that. So I'm gonna keep training. Man, the more uncomfortable it gets, the more life is being expressed through me. I want discomfort. I want pain. I want challenge. Because through it, there's growth. Only thing I pray is God don't give me an easy life. Don't give me an easy training either. Imagine you go to your coach and he says, today's an easy day. How you gonna feel about that? Not so good, because you know today's the day I won't grow. Give me all the challenges you possibly can and that you see fit for my growth. Sometimes I just want to pass out while I'm training. I want that shit to happen. I got videos up of me with almost 400 pounds over my head with a log and the shit almost falling on me. I have another video where I've got a 400-pound stone and the shit is about to fall on me. Those are the greatest moments of my training, when I'm failing and I'm about to be obliterated. That's the height of excitement in my training. Movement also liberates the spirit. The spirit can very easily be trapped in the body. Your spirit, that's why they even call alcohol spirits, right? Because you get moving a little bit. You start getting a little loose. You have some spirits and you feel good about yourself. Exercise is a spirit in the same way alcohol is, because it loosens you up, loosens my jaw, loosens my mind, brings me into my power. It releases the power in me. Same way I show you to stretch, you stretch to receive a certain type of yin power that's very deep and nurturing. But you also weight train for the yang power, which is very explosive and hot. You need both. You grow too hot in your training, you burn yourself out. That's how you turn into a meathead, because there's nothing but meat left there. There's no sensitivity. You need breathing and stretching too, the yin, to cool you down. And it's in that exchange between liberating and manifestation that we find our medium, we find our power. It's in between the two. Training brings me life. No matter what's going on in your life, training is always your friend. Training is transcendent. Training goes beyond the flesh. You seek life in your training. You seek transcendence in your training. It brings peace to your mind. Not because of what you see in the mirror, but because of the training itself. Breathing more air, heart beating faster, blood mobilizing, toxins being released, tight muscle being released, joints expressing themselves through movement. And the noise you should make when you train is liberating. Each time I let out a growl, it's liberating bits of my spirit. That warrior spirit. When do you get to exercise your warrior spirit? Every time I train, it's an exercise of my warrior spirit. And then I humble myself to these weights. Because they ain't gonna change who they are for me. 60 is gonna be a 60, 160 is gonna be 160, 360 is gonna be 360, whether I like him or not. Humble yourself to the weights. If you have a tendency, like myself, to have tighter hip flexors than strengthening your abdominals, these lateral lunges, be sure to tuck your butt under. Don't let yourself tip forward and do this too much. Tuck your butt under and try to focus on keeping your hips underneath your shoulders here. Boom, it's challenging for me. Also, the tendency when you have tight hip flexors is also to have tight adductors. They kind of go together. Tight hip flexors are often coupled with medial rotation of the upper leg. So tight hip flexors can also lead to bunions and messed up feet. Which I've experienced. Boom. Man, strength training changed my life. Physical training changed my life. I was not a good student. I wasn't a good boy. I was getting into a lot of trouble about the age of 14. But when I was taught how to use the barbell and to train my body, I learned discipline. Above all, I learned that I could do something, that I was worth something, that I could achieve something, that I could focus and grow through consistent activity in one particular thing. Revolutionize my perception of myself. That's why I make these videos. That's why I talk the way I talk. The things I say to you are simply the things that I've taught myself and had to say to myself and still have to say to myself so that I can continue growing stronger. This is another one of those exercises that force you to train multiple ranges of motions in your hip. It's a crossover, step up, cross back, step down. If you have a tendency to have tight hips, especially along the sides, this is a good one for you. I should work on.